So Professor Liu is going to teach you how to do chapter 11 classwork, overload, override the operators. From this table, you can see C++ can overload almost every single operators except four of these. But the most popular ones are plus minus and input and output. Okay, input and output. So Professor Liu is going to teach you how to do example. Use a complex as example. Use an example and to teach you how to do overload. So let's start with Visual Studio and create new projects, empty projects, and we are going to try to call this as chapter 11. Okay, example, class example, classwork example. All right, so let's do it right now. All right, so for this one, I'm going to use a very simple class called complex. So I'm going to add a class, and I'm going to just call it complex. So I'm just going to use a simple complex number. So complex number example will be like 5 plus 10i, a minus 5i, something like that. So there are two parts. So let me start to do it right now. So integer real and integer imaginary. Okay, so we have these two parts right now, and let's do the so these two parts are the private. Let's do the public. And the public one, let's do the constructor. So the constructor will be complex. I am going to write the default constructor and mutator constructor at the same time. So I'm going to write out r equals 0. Okay, then integer img equal 0. All right, so after that, that's a default constructor, and let's write mutator. So this is inline definition, and I'm going to write here imaginary, and we'll assign it from the img. All right, so I have this right now. Then I am going to write the overload the plus sign. Okay, so let me do the overload for plus sign for you right now. So before I do that, I probably need to have a display right now. Okay, so I am going to have a display. So let's write the display right now. So, and later I'm going to replace display by something else. So I'm going to void and display. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to write my overload of my plus sign. So I say when you overload, you have to start with friend. Okay. So friend. That's because you get from the Visual Studio, and we're going to go return a complex. Okay, then we're going to operator, and we're going to overload the plus sign. Okay, so and here I'm going to use complex, and then the first one will be C1, and I'm going to do a second one, and the second one will be C2. All right, so now I am going to write my definition right now. Okay, so I will do it right away. Now I'm close it, save it, do the second one right here, okay, and then I promote it right now. All right, so I'm going to do my plus sign, okay, so let's do the overload my plus sign, okay. So for this one, I am going to do like this way, okay. So I am going to do here first that's the display, okay. So the display is kind of easier, okay. So let's start that first. So I'm going to say CL. I'm just going to do the real then imaginary, okay. And I probably need a I. All right, so at the end and now, okay. So now I have to include IO string. All right, so after I finish, now the red wrinkling is gone right now, okay. So next thing I need to do is this. I'm going to overload this, okay. So what I'm going to overload is this right now. So I'm going to return a complex number, okay. So the complex number right here, I'm going to first I'm going to do the first one, okay. So it's a C1 the real, all right, then plus C2 the real, all right. So that will serve as the real part for this. Then I'll do this, all right. So C1 the imaginary, okay. Oh, sorry, imaginary, then plus C2 the imaginary. All right, so this will serve as the real part of the number you're going to return, okay. So then now this will finish my this part. I finish my class right now, and I'm going to use my class right now. So let's use this class right now. So I am going to first let me drag the thing here, is okay. All right, so this is my complex .h file, and down here is my complex definition file. Let's do another one right here. So I'm going to add a new item. This time I need to a C++. I'm going to call this use complex overload. All right, so I'm going to do this right now. First I'm going to include complex, then let's do our golden 7 line. All right, so after I finish this, then so I'm going to use my complex class, okay. So let me create two. So I say complex, all right, C1, okay. Let me make that to 510 whatever, okay. And let me do a second one right now. So complex C2, okay, 35 whatever, okay. Now I have two complex number, and I'm going to get my third complex number, and it's C3. and that will be equal to my C1 and plus my C2. So over here right now you can notice I overload the plus sign. So I do the redefinition of plus sign. So I'm adding these two complex class. When I add these two complex class, actually I do the redefinition is I'm going to add the real part and serve as the real and the imaginary part. Okay, so once I finish that, then I'm going to say here right now I'm going to say alright, C3 dot display. Okay, now let me run this program right now. So build it, and I'm going to display it. Start without debugging. So I got a plus 15i. Okay, so right here I do the overload. Okay, so this is my header file. So let me move my header file to here. Okay, so this is my header file, and this is my definition file. All right, so I overload my plus sign. So I wanted to, so that will be the first one. You can create the exe file that's overload plus sign. Now I want you overload the minus sign. Okay, so then to overload the minus sign here, that will be easy. So same thing right here. Copy all these things. Control C. But instead of plus sign, I say minus sign right now. So I do the same thing right here. Then I have to give my definition right here. So let me load my definition right now. Okay. Then I promote it. So I am going to write my definition right here. So my definition will be here right now. So these will be sort of like my plus, but instead of I do minus. So I copy these, Control C, I put it right here, right now, and instead of plus I do minus, and so instead of plus I do minus. All right, so when I finish this part, then I'm coming to my here right now, and I'm going to say this. Okay, complex, I'm going to say C4, and now make that C1 minus C2. All right, so then I am going to display C4 dot display. All right, so let's take a look right now. So the code, let me run it first. So I build it, then I rebuild, start without debugging. All right, so I got a plus 15i, then will be 2 plus 5i. All right, so let's take a look at the code right here one more time. Take a look at the code one more time. So this will be I overloaded right here. So I overload the plus sign and minus sign. Okay, so now I'm going to do something right now. So next is I am going to overload. Next thing is I'm going to overload the output. Okay, so in order to overload the output, I am going to delete my display. It's okay. So right now I finish overload plus sign and finish overload minus sign. Okay, then I am going to overload my output right now. So now I'm going to delete this. Okay, delete this. All right, so now I have to come right here to delete it right here. Okay, so before I delete it, I can use it, so I'll delete later. Okay, So right now I am coming to right here. Okay, so this is gone right now. Let me delete it, and let me delete it. Okay, so because I need to do something else, so I'm going to over load my output. Okay, overload my output. So let's take a look right now. So what I'm going to do is this. I also need to have a friend, right? So because it's from your Visual Studio, so I say from here, friend. All right. So but this one is O string output. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add operator, and I'm going to overload the output. Okay, and this one is O string. You get it from the Visual Studio. I'm just going to call out. Okay, by the way, O string is a super big one. We have to only get its address, and we are going to do this is complex. All right, CMP. Okay, complex. All right, so see, now I'm going to do this right now. Okay, so I'm going to overload one more time. Is output string, output string. Okay, and it's going to call out. It's going to call out. All right, so I am going to let it write for me. All right, so right here the out string is has a mistake because you have to include IO string. All right, so now they don't have mistake right now. Okay, so they understand right now, and we are going to write this output. It's okay, so we're coming back right here. All right, so the output is right here right now. Okay, so so to write this output, so we are going to replace this output, right? So that will be, and we are going to use out right now. Okay, we're going to use out right now. So we're going to say this instead of, we use our out. That's a new definition. So I'm going to say this out. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to copy this thing but not C. Okay, Control X, and well, right here, where's that thing go? Right here. Okay, Control V, and I'm going to pull close, and I'm going to get rid of this one. All right, so right here this has to be from this class, so this is C dot real. It's okay, and this is a C dot imaginary. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to out right now. I'm going to out. Okay, so the real, the whatever, the in my argument that complex, I'm going to out the real and from the and also imaginary. Then I have to return my out. Okay, so now I'm done this part right now. So this is my definition. Okay, and this is my that's a header file. That's a declaration, and that's coming right here to write right now. Okay, so I have a C1 and here right now. So after I have a C3, I am going to do this. I'm going to say C out C3. So the reason is I overload the output right now, and I'm going to say C out C4. All right, so now suppose C3 will be A plus 15I, and C4 will be 2 plus 5I. Let's take a look. Okay, so let me build it, and let me start without debugging. All right, so it is correct. All right, so now I take a look one more time. What I did, I overload the plus sign. I overload the minus sign. This time I overload the output. So CL and also the insertion sign. All right. So now I'm going to do more. Okay. So I'm coming to here. I want to overload the input. Okay. So type right here. Hold on. Let me type friend. Okay. And it's is string. Okay. Is string. All right. So it's input. Right. So is string. All right. So same thing here. And operator. Okay. But this time is this guy. Okay. Then you're going to do is string. Okay. Then you're going to, that's called in. Okay. And we are going to take a complex then is a C. Okay. So we don't do const because input is not const. All right. So we are going to overload the input, the C in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the definition. All right. So let me promote it. And once I do here, now let's do this right now. Okay. So I'm going to go the definition right here. So okay. So whenever you do definition, you want to user to input something, you have to have the output prompt. Say so you do like this. So CL, you say enter an integer for a real for a complex number real part. Okay, something like that. Okay, now and then the C in, then you say in because you already redefined to in, so you say that. Then you want to say C the real. Okay, so whatever the user entered, you put in C, assign into C. Then you do the same thing here. All right. Then you ask them to enter a integer for a complex number imaginary part. All right. So then you do the same thing. You say in. All right. And let's go to see the imaginary. Okay. And then when you finish and you want to return that, in. Okay. All right. So we got this part right now. So this is my definition. Let's see how do we apply this. Okay. Let's see how to apply this right now. So right now I have this. So I'm going to get rid of this C1. All right. And get rid of this C2. It's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it. Okay. And complex C in. And I'm going to just say, all right, C in, okay, then C1, it's okay. Then complex C2, then I'm going to C in C2, okay. So I'm going to, give a redefinition of my input. So let me run it right now. So I build it. And I do start without debugging. All right, so come right here right now. Let's do same thing. 5, how about that? And 10. All right, second one. Okay, let me do 3, how about that? And 5. It's okay. So now I add 5 to 3. So 8 plus 15i, and when I subtract is 2 plus 5i. So let me finish this. And for this program, I overload 4 operators. Okay, 4 operators. One is plus, minus, and output and input. Output string and input string. All right. So for C++, overload operator is very, very popular and very, very useful. I hope you like this video.